Hi, and welcome back to Grow It Anyway. Today we're planting beans, okra, and just checking out the garden and seeing if we need to harvest anything, particularly radishes. So come along.
Welcome to Grow It Anyway, where imperfect gardens still grow. If your plants don't look Pinterest perfect, you're in the right place. So come on, let's grow it anyway together.
The first thing that we're planting is our okra. So last year I saved my okra seeds. I had a huge harvest of okra, and what I did is I just let the pods dry on the vine because we knew we were going to be saving some seeds. So I just then broke open the pods and laid them out just to make sure they were 100% dry, and then saved them. So we are going to be planting last year's saved seeds for okra. And we've already taken back the mulch. We're gonna just be doing a trench along our lines here. This is our irrigation line. So we're just gonna be planting that in there via trench, and we're gonna be planting that about how long?
Half inch to 1 inch deep.
About a half inch to 1 inch deep. Okay, one note about planting okra. You can soak your okra seeds overnight for about 12 hours, so just overnight, and to help with germination. If you do that, you're only increasing germination by 3 to 4 days. So I chose not to soak them overnight. I just put them in dry, and then we have watered it really, really well. But if you have a shorter season and you need to speed up that germination, I highly recommend that you do them overnight. So last year we did 2 beds of beans, and I did some succession sowing as well. We did the same variety. We did the burpees bush beans. And again, a lot of success, and we also did some pole beans. My problem with that is I like to can beans because the husband loves beans, and we just didn't have enough all at one time to can. So this year we're hoping that 3 beds of beans will give us enough to justify the canning and all the work you have to put into it. Whenever you start getting beans, you really kind of need to pick those quickly within a day or two. You don't want them to sit on the vine, because the more you pick, the more beans you get. And then they only produce for so many months. And once they stop producing, here in Zone 7A, you can start replanting and do some succession planting. If that brassica bed ends up just kicking the bucket because it is hot here already, and we're just at the last part of April, and we're already hitting upper 80s, 90 degrees. If it just does not produce, which we don't think it will, we're going to rip that out, and then we'll end up putting more beans there as well, because beans by far is something that we use all year round. So let's get to planting some beans. And I just want to point out how wonderful my little helper is today. What you doing there, babe?
Weeding.
He's weeding. He doesn't usually weed, but he's weeding. Okay, so before we plant this last bed, I wanted to show you the difference between mulching and not mulching. So in this bed, we have this just a good fine garden mulch on it, and if you and it's pretty thick, but if you take it back, you can see underneath. I think the last time I watered this bed was probably about 3 days ago, and if you pull it back, you can see how wet this dirt is. So if you squeeze it, it stays in a ball. And this is a very good, just dark compost, no clay. It's got sand in it. It's really, really good soil. But that's the difference. While this is very dry on top, you can see how dusty it is. It's very dry on top. It really does protect the soil. So whenever you're planting, especially, and of course growing in the hot summer months, it really does keep the moisture in. So the beans are planted. We did something in the last bed that we didn't do in the other two, and that is we put in 5 rows instead of 4 rows. For us, we were pretty conservative. You can sow beans 3 inches apart, but you have to like thin them to 6 inches. So we just put 1 or 2 in each spot, about every 6 inches apart. That way if we do have to thin them, we're not having to thin the one in the middle. I don't know. Anyway, we should have a lot less thinning if we have 50% to 100% germination. But regardless, we should have a good stage of beans. So in the other 2 beds, we just did 4 rows, same thing, about 6 inches apart, even though we could probably cram in more. We may do that later anyhow. So thoughts about the sewing?
Went well, was pretty easy.
It was really easy. Kind of helps to know, it kind of helps to know what you're doing too.
The key is having your beds prepared.
I agree. I mean, like just getting the mulch off was super easy. I wouldn't even call that like a bed prep. I mean, just having that mulch on there.
But how many weeds would we had in there if we wouldn't have had the mulch?
Correct.
So,
correct. Yeah, that's very true.
and there's nothing worse than weeding.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Obviously we have Bermuda grass. It's where we live. So we have Bermuda grass, and we had some in the beds. And we're never going to keep 100% of the Bermuda grass out of the beds, but I feel like this is our best shot at keeping them out. The other thing I did not put, like I said, I only put in bush beans, and they get, a pretty good height, about 10 inches tall when they're fully matured. They need a lot of sun. All 3 of these beds are in full sun. These beds down here may have a little shade in the morning, but they're going to get ample sun during the day. I had a question about what is direct sowing, because apparently not everyone can direct sow their seeds. Direct sowing, you treat it just like you do in the greenhouse when you're sowing seeds in a pot. You still do, follow the directions on the packet. You still do them the same depth. You give them the same water and that sort of consideration. As you'll see, we did not put the mulch back on the beans because we don't want anything to inhibit them, just like you would in the greenhouse. But direct sowing just means that you're directly putting the seeds in the bed. You're not potting them and replanting them. I know that is, some people are not able to do that because their growing seasons are shorter. They need to get a jump start on those beans, and you're not putting beans out for another, month. Fortunately, we're able to put ours out now just because we're in zone 7A and we have a long growing season. Like I said, we'll probably get in at least another, we could replant these. After these are done, we could just go in and replant a whole nother crop and have plenty of time before our first frost to get a whole another crop of beans. And we'll likely do that depending on how busy our schedule gets.
And how many beans we get.
Yes, because you really like beans.
We need about 24 pints canned up
At least.
to last us the year. We probably eat green beans a couple of times a month.
Oh, I would say almost once a week.
Yeah.
But we do pints because it's just the two of us.
All right,
And
well,
then the daughter.
then we need 52 pints.
How many beans is that?
This whole garden, probably. We need a bigger garden,
Listen.
apparently.
Apparently, but we don't want to. I mean, at that point, we would have to hire help.
On the other hand, we're radish rich right now.
Yes.
And
so
she doesn't even like radishes, so I don't know what we're going to do with them.
Yeah. So I told them that I confess I really don't like lettuce a lot.
And we have a lot of lettuce too.
I like it on a burger.
We may have a salad tonight.
Salads make me a little sad, but okay, so salad. But the one thing that I don't really like, and if you have any recipes to send me, please send me recipes because I need to know what to do with these radishes other than just put salt on them and eat them raw or slice them and put them in a salad. If you've got a pickling recipe, something like that, please, please, please send it to me because I really have no idea what to do with them. So you want to go show everybody your radishes?
Sure.
Hey, one thing. You say that you really like radishes, right? We planted radishes last year too, huh?
They weren't any good.
You didn't like them last year?
No, they tasted like wood.
Yeah.
These worked.
Okay. So we planted cherry bells. And what was the other variety? Was it Oregon Giant?
I don't remember.
Did you put a label on it?
No, I didn't. They're radishes, man. I mean, how different can they be?
Let's go check out the radishes. Okay, so this is our entire, remember we have half a bed of onions there, and then all these are radishes. And again, these are cherry bell, and you don't want them to go too long because they'll split, and I'll show you an example of them splitting. But these grow so fast, and they look so good.
Little.
That is kind of little. I would probably eat that. You want to go get your other ones that you picked? What about this one?
That's a good one.
Okay, so I want to show you what they look like whenever they're ready to pick. All right, so here are the two that we picked there. So you kind of see, or you can start seeing the shoulders of this. And so go ahead and pull that. That one's a little small, but you're going to start seeing the shoulders. Now I want to show you a common mistake. Whenever you go in and sow carrots, beets, radishes, it's really important that you don't get them close together. And so you want to go in thin. And we did a really good job, I would say much better this year than we did last year of thinning our beets. So right here is a good example of us not thinning the beets. So you've got like this tiny, tiny one here, and then you've got another little one. So we're just gonna go ahead and we'll probably give that one to the chickens. But you want to keep them. Think about that they're only gonna grow as close as they are together. So this radish here, whenever it grows, it's not going, I think we need to thin this one. It's not gonna be able to grow. It'll grow as big until it hits the next one. So these are not bad because we don't want gigantic ones. But the bigger ones you get, you'll notice that they are much further apart. Now see, this is a good example of us not thinning them. Yeah, so we're gonna just get rid of those. See, that's a really good distance apart right there. That is too close. Now let's look at these. So these two, see how this is butted up right against the other right here. So they're right butted up against each other. That's as far as that one's gonna grow. This one's bigger, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna pull this one. Here's another example of ones that
one might be ready.
So this is the smaller one. We just need to throw that out. And that'll give these 3 some more room to grow. They're about ready. Okay, so here's an example of when they are overripe because they had too much time or it was too wet. Your radish will start splitting like this, and you want to avoid that. So really, I mean, look at this guy. Yeah, that's huge.
It's a good size, like
That
really
is-
big.
Yeah, that's really big. So yeah, those are all our cherry bell radishes. So, well, thanks for joining us and helping us plant our beans and our okra. And I'll check back in, and we're going to give you some frequent updates, I hope. And hopefully we'll have beans here next month or so. So
Beans, gonna have some beans.
thanks for joining us. See you next time.